You get your toddler to stop throwing things is by understanding why they're throwing things in the first place. Let me break it down for you. All the time I have moms come to me and say, like, my toddler keeps throwing things, or they're throwing toys, or they're throwing stuff at me. What do I do to stop it? In the moment, your reactions are calm. You set a boundary. Hey, I can't let you throw that, or I'm going to put that away if you throw it again, etc. That is 2 parts of the framework that I teach, my Toddler Tantrums guide, right? But the more important piece that I think is often forgotten about, that I'm going to talk about in this video, is what I call prep. And it is understanding why your toddler is throwing in the first place, and then replacing that behavior or giving them a skill that they need to stop the throwing. So this is where it's going to make a huge difference what's going on and why they're throwing in the first place. For example, this mom told me that her 3-year-old son keeps throwing books and toys at the baby most of the time when she's nursing or trying to get the baby down for a nap. And that makes total sense. For a 3-year-old who's got this new baby home, feeling a lot of overwhelm, dysregulation, their whole life has been interrupted. They're not quite sure yet how to handle those big emotions of having to share mom with the baby or handle this other little human who needs a ton of attention. They're dysregulated in that moment, especially those moments when you're deep in connection with your baby, and they do not like that. So they react in the only way they know how to get your attention again, which is throwing. You can guarantee that if that toddler throws a book at mom and baby, she's gonna suddenly be focused on the toddler. So here's what we need to do. We need to teach our toddler, how do I get connection from mom in a more appropriate manner? How do I get that one-on-one time? How do I fill up that connection bucket from mom in a way that's actually safe, right? How do I handle my feelings of sadness and overwhelm and jealousy and frustration? That's emotional regulation skills. So we can't just say, like, hey, stop throwing things at me and the baby or you're going to time out, because that's not teaching the toddler how to handle their emotions, how to get connections. There are so many options. In my Toddler Tantrums guide, there's an entire section about this where I give like 50 different options and strategies and alternates that you can start to teach your little one. But you start to teach them that, right? If the toddler was throwing for a different reason, then we might have a different approach, like if they were just throwing for fun or because they needed that sensory input. This is why it's so key that you don't just take blanket advice about how to handle the tricky behaviors, but in fact, you learn how to understand why they're happening and then meet that core need, that root cause, which is what a lot of parents are missing. And that's what my entire Toddler Tantrums guide teaches you. It's not just the parenting phrases or the scripts to say if you want to be a respectful parent, but like being able to look at the behavior and see what's going on underneath so that you can get to the core of it, because that's the quickest way that you're going to be able to eliminate these tricky behaviors in a really respectful, loving, caring way.